That's with how I think and who I am. I think I labeled it as brain and spinal cord. You can do everything else, just don't touch those. If you touch those, that person ain't that person anymore.
Yeah, yeah. So it's that's funny because the whole like nano technology, nanobots joint, where it kind of goes in and can potentially change you or change things, or it's very sci-fi, right? And
welcome to Fire Talks by Tech Wing Bites. I'm Clint. I've built software, led teams, and now a founder, helping builders who are ready to make the leap but can't quite see the path yet. Every episode is one conversation closer to clarity on ownership, execution, and momentum.
Whatever, but the topic that I selected, of course, is still revolving around tech and AI, but the CES event or conference or whatever happened in Vegas recently. And I haven't watched all the videos. Say again?
Was that last week? I feel like it was.
It was last week.
Yeah.
I don't watch all the videos, but the few that I saw, like, it got my brain firing. You know what I mean? And I was like, hey, this could make for a good conversation. I don't know how much you've watched or read about it.
Yeah.
So it's that. So we could definitely dive into that. And the core theme that I recognize in the videos I watch with CES is more so pertaining to individual, like what's happening at home.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So we'll dive into that. What is the other thing I wanted to tell you? Oh, well, the YouTube channel, which I already told you that. All right, cool. So that's it pretty much. We can dive into the stuff. Hassan may join, Kevin may join. I think you met them before. If not, we'll do a quick
the last one
introduction. All right, cool. The thing about the CES, man, is the theme, the general theme that popped out to me is AI for individuals, which is weird because big tech, not only in the United States but across the world, is building enhancements for individuals. Yes, there's some productivity stuff. Yes, there's some scary stuff like Starlink, I believe it's called.
Starlink. Isn't that Musk's his satellite?
Yeah.
Communication?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, no, I said it wrong. Starlink is that. I didn't mean Starlink. I meant Neuralink.
Oh, the Neuralink. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's also. That's also Musk, but that's the when it's the chips in, essentially not chips in brains per se, but I'm torn about that specific one, specifically because, so for me personally, right, I'm blind in one eye, or sorry, legally blind in one eye. Colors, I see colors, I see shapes.
Okay.
I can mostly make out, if somebody puts up like how many fingers, I can mostly make out the fingers, depending on how far away they are from me. But outside of that, that one eye is good. It's good for peripheral vision. That's basically what I consider. So I'm essentially monocular, but I can still kind of, the second eye kind of still works for being able to see stuff coming out. I can still see stuff coming from that side of my, but it's mostly blurry. So
are you saying you're willing to use AI to correct your vision?
I did not say that. It's torn. as in there's some times where I could consider it. I can see why I would consider it. Because LASIK is a thing that I've considered in the past, but I'm not a viable candidate for it. My personally, or at least most ophthalmologists, they'll be like, no, you have one good eye. I don't want to risk that, because it's not a 100% no potential complications type of surgery. Right. So they're like, okay, no. But so obviously I would, think about at least the opportunity for that one eye to get enhanced. I mean, I grew up. I grew up. I saw stuff like Bionic. What's the name of that cartoon? It was like an '80s cartoon. Oh, okay,
George Jetson,
no, that's like
the Jetsons.
50s, 60s. Which that's also with Rosie. What was it? Rosie? Yeah, Rosie Robot. So that's the
Rosa.
idea. But I was thinking more like the Bionic. I think it's called the Bionic 6. I think, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
Bionic 6, huh?
yeah. So yeah,
I gotta look
it,
that up.
it,
I
yeah,
gotta look that
it
up.
lasted. It probably
I'm not
lasted like a
remembering.
season or two, maybe. It was during the heyday of Transformers, Thundercats, Key-Man, GI Joe, and it's like those were like your top tier ones, right?
Oh, Bionic
So,
6.
yeah, those are like the big four. Iron 6 came in probably
I
like
do remember this.
a tier below, maybe even 2 tiers below. But they had
Yeah.
Bionic Vision, right? So and
I mean, they couldn't beat Thundercats, man. Come
well,
on,
no,
man.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said it was like a tier or two below those. Like I said,
Yeah.
Thundercats, GI Joe, Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last one I said? Well, the Thundercats. So it was a tier below those cartoons. Those were the big ones at the time, and nothing else really could penetrate. Was it GI Joe? Was
G.I. Joe
was
was.
like they've been around. It's funny, GI Joe was on for a long time, but the cartoon blew up in like the early, I want to say early to mid '80s, and
Mm-hmm.
then after that, everything just was, GI Joe this. Then Transformers come in like a year or two later, and that
Mm-hmm.
was off everything. But I guess He-Man was there. I guess He-Man was there too. But for me, Transformers was my big thing.
Yeah.
And
Transformers.
yeah, those
I think that was mine too.
that was my favorite. And so AI, is near and dear, kind of like just even from way back then, because we're talking about robots with personalities, robots, that think and all of that.
Well, we're also talking about the hybrid of that, which
Yes,
is, human augmentation. I
yes.
saw a clip once. I was doing my doom scrolling,
Hmm.
and there was this lady, and the lady was saying that her daughter wanted to get some technology augmentation in her body, so she can
Oh,
just scan,
oh,
instead of carrying cards, she just
uh-huh.
can like scan. And
Oh,
mom's was like, nah,
yeah,
I don't want you to do that. And she
yeah.
had this big thing, but she's like, you know what? If you really want to do it, let me try it first. But when you see
Uh-huh.
mom's is like 30% robot. Like not visually, but like
Yeah.
she has implants below her skin. She
Uh-huh.
has stuff, in behind her retina,
Uh-huh.
and so it's like she said it's like tattoos. Some people say
Uh,
when you get one tattoo,
she
you
got
get
addicted.
addicted.
Yeah.
You got to keep, because she kept getting it. She kept getting it, and then she found this community of people that want the augmentation, right?
Yeah.
So Neuralink, we might be sitting here saying, oh, I don't know, but there's a whole community of
Mhm.
people is loving, these implants, and
Yeah.
even more excited
Yeah.
about it being
Biomodding.
yeah,
Yeah.
biomodding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read a little bit about that. Like I said, for me, it's always been about the function. For me, it would be like a functional thing
uh
first before I
yeah.
do cosmetic. Like I don't necessarily think I'd ever necessarily get something embedded in my arm just so I can scan through something, right?
I mean, but you might get it, that dude on Star Trek, he got the
Oh,
glasses.
yeah, the Forge, yeah, Jordy LaForge. I guess those are we got that
Yeah.
bicep. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome, Hassan. um
How you doing, man?
could you hear us?
He might not be able to hear it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, you can. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I
Now
can. I can
now
hear
we
you.
can hear. Yeah, we're just talking about human augmentation with AI. What's the technical term? You said bio what?
Biomodding.
Biomodding.
Yeah.
Biomodding. We were reflecting a little
That
bit
sounds
on
sophisticated.
it's before the AI trend, right?
Yeah.
We were reflecting on the CES conference and all of the things there, and one of it is definitely um, tools that's being built for, I don't want to say human productivity, but more like human companionship, right? And so the first part of that this the discussion, we leaned a little bit into the biomodding, where biomodding is just people putting computer chips in them. This is before AI. This stuff was already happening. So these groups of people is excited, for AI, because AI could help these chips to do more, right? And what we saw in and I haven't seen all the videos, but what I saw at CES, so just watching some of the videos, is that Neuralink, which is Elon Musk stuff, he is really that group is really pushing using AI to augment or biomod parts of the brain, which is like I don't mind biomodding everywhere else, but the brain just seems like you're not going to be you after a while. Like, I mean, maybe if it works perfectly, I will still think you are you, but you would not be you because it's not you anymore. Like it's a computer,
Right.
mimicking and mirroring,
Yeah.
different parts of you.
Well, and this may not be a popular thought, but for me, it's anytime you have something like AI, especially the extremely rich and powerful, they always try to take it too far. Right? They want to do things that really kind of should be left alone. Like you were talking about with the human being. It's yeah, it's just, to me, it's going a little further than I think it should. But that's just who we are as humans and how things work.
Right, right. Just FYI, your audio is a little bit scratchy. Just FYI on that. I think we heard everything you said. But I
Yeah, my
100% agree,
connection's a
Hassan.
little shaky.
Oh,
Yeah. But I definitely agree. I was having a deep conversation with a friend the other day about this topic specifically, that hey, if AI was to regrow your limbs because you lost your arm or your leg or organs. I mean, we're already putting pacemakers in people's hearts already, so of course AI can make that stuff work better. I even saw uh a venom. I'm going to say venom to give you a visual. A venom type blob that is a robot that can go inside of you kind of organically and kind of fit into weird places that a controller, a human controller on the outside, you kind of could control this robot. Okay, I'm fine with all of that. Once you start to mess with how I think and who I am, I think I labeled it as brain and spinal cord. You can do everything else, just don't touch those. If you touch those, that person ain't that person anymore.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's that's funny because the whole
Mhm.
venom like nano technology,
Nanobots,
nanobots joint, where it kind of goes in and can potentially change you or change things, or it's very sci-fi, right? And
yeah. Well,
we're
close to reality
getting
now.
there, right? I know we're getting to that point where what was sci-fi and stories and stuff like that is becoming reality. We're
Yeah.
getting to that. We're getting slowly pushing ourselves to that point.
Yeah.
And obviously, there are a lot of not just ethical questions that come along with that,
Hmm.
but and philosophical questions that come along with that. You know, main ones being, how do we make it safe when we get there?
Hmm.
And should we?
I
Because there's
mean,
always that point where it's like, could we? Yeah, sure. Should we?
yeah.
That becomes more of a question, right? It's so.
But that's the challenge, right? It's what is the definition of safe, right?
Mm, right.
Someone say, well, making sure you don't die. But
Mhm.
if I can create the illusion of you not being dead,
Dead. Right.
then it's
Yeah.
safe.
Right. Yeah. So I think about some things sometimes. So here's one thing I've seen
Hmm.
uh, with the automated cars. Let's not to get too sci-fi, because
Hmm.
we're just bringing to something that's a little bit more closer to reality right now.
Hmm.
To me, safe for that would be a significant reduction in vehicular deaths, right? That's what I would consider safe for. It's for safety in the context of the thing that it's doing. So, if a car's, driving around and it still makes the same mistakes that people make, is it really something that we need to be doing? Right?
True.
So there's a context to what safety is. And
Yeah.
I think, as we grow, as AI grows, and as we figure out how to actually navigate AI, that's one of those questions I think that we, the people, should be asking. Obviously, we should be asking that of the people that are making the AI, how much we can influence. Usually that comes from the bottom line of dollars. If we pay for it, if we don't pay for it, versus if you're not paying for it. That's usually what will end up being how we determine that. And use, how much we use it. So safety becomes an all around, all of us thing. It's not just,
True. You make an excellent point. That the definition of safety really comes down to context of what it is and what it's actually being used for. That's a good fact. Wow. Hassan, you look a lot better. I think you switched. Just letting you know. You did good.
Yeah, I switched from my tablet to my phone because, of course, my the Wi-Fi here is a little spotty, and so I was using my phone as the hotspot, but the hotspot wasn't giving it the type of bandwidth that it needed.
The hotspot was not. It needed AI.
Yeah.
It was a cold spot. So
so let's talk about the external devices that is fiction-ish and closer to not quite biomodding, but next to biomodding, right? So we talk about smart glasses, smart AirPods, beam me up, Scotty, right? Like there's this game called Destiny 2, and it has a little, assistant that kind of follows the guy around, and and within the spaceships, like Star Trek. A computer, could you do this analysis? Computer, could you tell me? Like we literally did. I just the other day, no, I lied. Yesterday, 2 days ago I started, and yesterday I was back at it. I went into ChatGPT and I said, "Let's play a game," and I'm enjoying the game. And the game is pretty much guess what I'm thinking.
Yes, what I'm thinking.
We just keep going back and forth, right? And so CES seems to produce a lot of that. Back what I was saying, like focusing on the consumers, big companies, big money, trying to make a bunch of these stuff and say, hey, more glasses because you want to record yourself, because you want an assistant right here, because you want an assistant in your ear. So it's more and more of those tools. That seems to be like the current trend, even down to lightings. I have lightings in here, and you probably can't see it, but when I'm talking, it blinks and it goes crazy in here, like if I'm having a strobe light in here. But those types of lighting, are comfort lighting and mood lightings, right? Like they're using AI to help with that. These are small, tiny things, but these are the things that individuals seems to care about most. Obviously, it's going to be within your vehicle, right? Your watch. And now it knows everything about you. Been already there, but it can probably like calculate stuff better. I think some of that is good. I'm a big watch guy, right? I keep track of my health on that. So if I was to have AI to, calculating the trend and say, hey, your heart is not doing right. You need to eat right. You need to start working out. Get up. Like, yeah, great. But some of these other tools just seems redundant. It makes me wonder to what end. Like what's the next big thing? And that's on the middle tier, right? The low tier is still productivity and better sales force and better CRM, right? But on the high tier, we're talking about the Neuralink. We want to create a ship, put AI and robotics in it, and send it to space and see how far it goes. And while it keeps sending information back, we want to create satellites and have it use solar to regenerate power and collect data and create this kind of, what do they call it, like an iron dome where they're kind of connecting. What's also scary because now it can track you. There's so many topics, right? There's like so many things in here. It's like, what's the big plan? Is the big plan to track me, and the small plan is to get these devices so that you can track me, to make me so dependent upon it? What do you guys think?
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
No, that was my response. Yes. I mean, the thing is of course everything is surrounded around how much money can this make, right? What kind of market is this going to create? Everything that I see is, and that's the reason why they're trying to get AI to be so humanistic, or have so human features, rather than just using AI. To me, like, I think it needs to be. I think David said this last Fire Talk was AI should be a collaborator, right? It should be a partner to the human. I think that's when you're going to have the best results. But it's a chase to see who can make the most money with it, and that's just the way that I feel that like anything that comes out new, that's one of the things that really pushes people to come up with all these different new things that can be done, and that's also the reason why you have people who fear AI the way that they do, because of the fact that they know how we are as human beings. We're going to use AI to try to replace as many people as we can, so that I can make as much money as I can with less work, right? And so that, to me, that's where I see it going, and it really sucks, because I think this AI thing is really a great collaborator. Like, I use it as a collaboration tool. I know that Clint, you do as well, and it does a great job as that. But we go outside the lanes. They try to switch lanes, and I think sometimes they even try to switch freeways, right? Like, they're totally outside the lane. They're all on a whole different freeway, and in that, there's going to be, there may be some really good things that they come up with, but for the most part, I think that that they find their lane, they stay in their lane, and then they just improve it as they go.
Is there truly a stay in the lane situation with AI?
Oh God, no.
Oh, no, well, I mean, there's not one. That's what I'm saying, is how I feel it should be, right? Not how it is.
Yeah. Huh.
It's funny because when I think about it, the way we exist, I mean, what we exist in is a capitalistic society, right?
Absolutely.
So
agreed.
Start from there, which means every company is always out for their bottom dollar and to get the most out of it. That's the bottom line. So everything that they do, everything that they've done has been, okay, how are we going to maximize our profits? Okay, we see that AI right now is helpful in, like, the LLMs. Like, the LLMs LLMs not even the first thing that they did, right? I mean, there was other things that came before that, but let's just use LLMs now, because LLMs is, well, for the past 3 years, that has been the big thing. And so the way they monetize it is they show it in a way that, oh yeah, this is for helpful. We want to get more people using it. So they humanize it, and they make it so that it feels like it's a friend, or feels like it's a colleague in some way, shape, or form. And it's still just number one. It's still just ones and zeros at the end of the day.
At the end of the day,
But the design is made so that we feel more comfortable with it, so that when we encounter it, we are willing to spend money on it. It's dating us.
What the game is scored in dollars, right? So
so they're taking us out to dinner. They're just trying to figure out how They're trying to figure out how to make us, want to spend more money on them.
Well,
It's
I challenge that. Yes, I think
yeah.
money is the middle catalyst to everything,
Mhm.
but I really think it comes down to our perceived attention, right? We
Mhm.
spend money because we think that is valuable,
Right.
right? So
Right.
they put a price tag on it, but that's the thing I want to do. I want that smart meta glasses, for example,
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
I want that experience that is now enhanced with AI. So there's a perceived value of the experience or what the individual is gonna get. I feel better if
Mhm.
it's, like you said, humanized, right? It's
Mhm.
thinking. AI is not thinking, but thinking,
Right.
right? And if they apply it onto a robot that looks like a human, got
Mhm.
arms and a head and everything,
Mhm.
then it's more relatable,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it's like they're playing on our perception.
Yeah.
Yes, to get the money. Obviously, that is the
Mhm.
the intent. But I feel like the true currency is us saying, yes, I want that.
Well, yeah, it's valuable. Yeah. It has to position itself as valuable some way to
Mhm.
us. If there's no value to us, then there's no way we're going to spend on it because
Yeah,
we don't see a value in it. So
yeah, yeah.
it definitely has to position itself however we as people or humans establish value.
Hmm.
In the end, that these companies have to either one make us believe is valuable, or
Hmm.
two make it valuable. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
They have to change our perception of what valuable is,
Mhm.
or it has to
Uh-huh.
fill our perception of what valuable is.
Would you agree that they're already doing that by using words like the AI is thinking, quote quote? Because we know it's not
Mhm.
thinking; it's processing. But
Right. Right.
the words that they use, it's thinking. And
Yes.
another
Yes.
one is AI is smart. It's smarter
Mhm.
than you.
Right. Yeah. 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 So yes, and it's giving it a sense of authority when it says, the everything, like the language that it uses, it's marketing speak, right?
Marketing speak.
It's
Yeah.
they're marketing it to us in a way that, okay, it makes it feel or seem smarter. It makes it feel like it's novel, new, and something that you have to have. Like, it creates a sense of urgency around it.
Yeah.
It's we're being sold. We're being sold.
Yeah. I mean, but it is cool though. Like
Oh
the
no, yeah.
glasses is cool.
That's not to say that. That's not to say this is not. These aren't things that Look, I mean, you mentioned Dre LaForge a long time, a little bit earlier in the talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, those about that visor, and yeah, it allowed him to see different spectrums of light and allowed him to see a whole lot of different things that you couldn't normally see. So,
Hmm.
so for someone like me, like I would love that, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
in Meta glasses, yeah, I would actually enjoy that. But so I already
But
had it
but
already
but
had
if you
the
do
value
it,
to me. Would I do it? Would I
no,
have the
well,
income?
well, if you do it, you got to
Uh-huh.
wear a cape. Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Hey, what's up? I'm Clint. Thank you for hanging out with me on this one. If you're listening or watching this cut, the full episode is on techwingman.substack.com. Go subscribe. It's worth it. And if you're already a paid member, you're good. Keep watching. Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I actually read that stuff. All right, back to the episode. Hey, one more thing. I know I don't always talk directly to who's watching and listening. I'm still figuring out this podcast thing. Bear with me as I build. I appreciate you being here though and staying with me this far. Thanks again. Now back to the episode.
All right. All right. I'll make that deal with you.
All right. That's funny. What else? What else did I see today? This past 2 weeks. So the CES was the big one,
Mhm.
and I think that one of the videos was graphically impressive.
Mm.
Uh, HD, but it's computer generated,
Oh,
and
okay.
you can im- im- immerse yourself in a AI world, right? So when we play video games, we know that every time you move, that stuff that's being generated. But in some context, it's like, yeah, this is the map. You are the character. We put you in there, and we put you in this 3D world that's generating based on your GPU, blah 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 blah. But now it seems like with AI, that whole process is a lot faster, a lot cleaner. And so instead of processing the whole world, they process just a radius, which is your peripheral, right? And as you move, then it generates more, right? So now all of that power is being pushed into the graphical representation, making you feel more like immersive, like, oh, this is real, ooh, this is great. Right. So for video games, that's good, but it leans to really ask the big question that people have been throwing around for a while: is Hollywood still going to be around?
Okay.
That's the thing that's one of the things that I popped in my head.
Okay. So that's an interesting question. Mainly because Hollywood has a lot of things going for it. So okay, let's take the current award cycle, like Sinners, for example, right? Sinners is a story that I don't think AI would have come up with. Not fully. When you think about the cultural aspects of Sinners, I don't think AI is coming up with that story.
I would say the same for Get Out as well. We keep going.
Yes, yeah, Get Out. Yeah, no, for sure, it's not coming up with Get Out. But will it have elements there? Of course, right?
Yeah, there's just going to be nuances they just can't come up with, right? Those small little nuances, cultural nuances that AI it's going to need humanistic help, right? So or human help, and so that Hollywood's just going to look different.
Yeah.
Well, the special effects is going to be different.
Yeah, well, I mean, and honestly, you got to think about it, right? Special effects, like you remember what that special effects used to be? You know what I'm saying?
We don't want
Compared
to
to
go
what it is
back and look at
today,
those.
right? And so the thing is it's technology is supposed to affect those particular things like special effects, you know. So I mean, AI is just a new tool to help to help with special effects, but to Tony's point, there are certain nuance because we want like something that's ultra real and you know that really touches us. Like, I mean, you know, the cultural piece and whatnot. And I just don't think AI can get that.
Yeah.
I don't know. The CES videos makes me feel like it's pretty close. It's in a 90 percentile. I'm thinking.
Look, what it will do, I think it will have like the visuals. Yes, I think 100% it can replicate the visuals of pretty much any movie that's been out there. Story, but that's when it gets to story, right? That's when plot. When you ask AI right now, and this is probably limited because of the current limitation. Because it was built on LLMs of pre-existing stories, pre-existing works, is going to look a lot like those works.
True.
And I don't think it necessarily would be able to have that leap because it doesn't have the experience of a Ryan Coogler or a Jordan Peele. Like, because those movies that you just mentioned, that's just Sinners and Get Out, those were specifically informed by their experience. Right? His experience with his I think it says grandparents, I think as Cooper said. I had to go back and look at the interview, but and Jordan Peele, as growing up, I think his wife is white. So yes, I think having some of that experience there too, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have, so AI doesn't have any of that. And I don't think it could be able to come up with a story because it doesn't have those experiences. So a human experience will matter. Now, maybe if, it becomes a collaborative instance or some collaborative thing with AI and the writer, director, cinematographer, yes, then there's probably going to be some, you can probably get close, but it will still need that human element in order to be able to connect with people at the way that those two moves specifically connected with people.
Yeah, and one of the big difference I think I see, you will see when it comes to Hollywood. Like I think the more technologically advanced we get with things like AI, it opens the door for people who don't have those millions of dollars for production, right? To produce the quality. Same way like you're seeing in the music industry, right? Like now you don't have to get a record deal. Matter of fact, you can probably make more money without getting a record deal and doing your own and pushing it through social media. Right. You see a lot of like one of my favorite comedians, Ali Sadiq. Well, the thing is he does his own. Everything goes through his website, the ticket sales and all of it. Like everything that he does, he doesn't have to go through the traditional way of being able to do it. And I think that's what AI is going to do for Hollywood, right? Hollywood is still going to exist because, to Tony's point, you're going to need that human experience, right? The human to really kind of partner with it. But I think it does open it up to the new entrants, right? Because right now, I mean, it's your main players that produce everything. Well, I think that changes over time.
Right. Yes.
I'm not 100% disagreeing with you. I just have a slightly different perspective.
Yeah.
I think that the process of producing is going to be different. At first, it might save some money in this area, but I definitely see it, being more expensive in a different area. If this is the process, there's a new process, and in this process, I'm saving money, but in this process, it's probably about the same. So that's just as far as the efficiency and productivity of the whole process. And I think with that, I agree. I also agree with you as well, to Tony, that a hybrid collaboration between what AI can do and the brain of the producer director, just combining could produce something extremely awesome in a fast period of time. But when it comes to what it can produce as far as connecting itself to our human experience, if we look at history, if you look at some history books, or some of the same things that we are fighting with, on an emotional level, is not different from Aristotle. There was just a different era. The technology was just less, but the human experience and this desire for connection and storytelling exists, right? To that point, a lot of this is documented in literature, and so much so that a lot of our human experiences is gamified. And to that point, it makes me feel that AI, probably not now, but in the near future, the trajectory that it's aiming for is that it can use that information to pull us in, to hook us in, as far as the human experience goes. But I think the one difference that I'm calling out is not that it can produce something exactly like Ryan Coogler. What I'm calling out is, at the end of the day, if this picture, if this movie, if this audio was created by AI, I'm like, it's good, but if it was created by Hassan, it's like, yo, that's a human did that. And I think that will always live, no matter what AI can do. I think if we know that came from a human, because we know how hard that is. We know, and like if AI becomes standard and we just say, yeah, it's just gonna create media, and we know it's perfect, right? Then the imperfect is probably gonna be the standard in which we want to pay the highest dollars for. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? I feel like what is the one? Shoot. Oh, there was a song. I'm paid to exist. Ha! I remembered it. Hey, so you go on TikTok or you go on YouTube and you search "I'm paid to exist." It's a song by a lady and it sounds awesome. The problem is she only has like 3 songs. I'm like, why she has 3 songs? And then I keep scrolling and I find another song and it's good, man. The words is perfect. Like you feel it. Like I feel it's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying when I listen to the lyrics, right?
Yeah.
But something about me makes me feel that is AI. Is it a bad song? No. It's great. It's emotionally hitting me. But
Right.
the fact that I think that it's AI, I'm
Yeah.
not giving it as much credit that
Right.
if I knew Hassan was actually singing it or Tony was singing, it's like, man, you sound good. Like to me,
Right.
the perceived value is raised, and that is one thing I think that's gonna stay consistent from now till the future, no matter what technology can produce.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and also when I think of human experience, right? We our experience of the exact same thing changes over time, right? Like I'll give you something like the movie Lion King.
Mhm.
You know, well, I watched it because I had kids.
Right.
And we watched it with them. They were, but like, you know, I've seen Lion King's one of my favorite movies, but it hits different as, you know, through the difference. Like there are certain things that I can pull out of it now, you know, after being a parent for almost 20 years, right? Than I could when I was. So it's the um volatility is the wrong word, but like it's just the natural progression of the human experience. I don't think AI
I
can
mean,
duplicate.
even though we know the King was created by human artists, it's still human voices behind there. Those voices and those
Right.
tones is
James
what's really connecting with us. Yes, the story matters, absolutely. But
Right.
I'm saying it becomes elevated because we know, like, yeah, I know the person behind this. That
Right.
was Pedro Pascal. It wasn't, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. He has a good voice.
Yeah. I think part of it boils down to, like you were saying a little bit earlier, the fact that we have a higher, we assign a higher value to people than we
Yeah,
would to AI or
yeah,
to a machine doing it,
yeah.
right? You know, when, for example, you know, forgetting AI, forgetting anything else, people pay more for handcrafted jewelry
Facts.
Absolutely.
than they do for lab generated jewelry.
Hmm.
It's plain and simple, you know.
As
So
cool as 3D printing is,
right,
handcrafted is always going to be more.
yes.
Yeah,
So
true.
I think it boils down to stuff like that. We still will assign. Now the question becomes, you know, the authenticity of when, you know, it was this generated by AI versus was it not, and they're trying to get to the point. It's getting to the point where it's getting a lot harder to tell.
Yeah,
But you know, when we can tell, we know, and
yeah,
so
we know.
there's gonna have to be
Oh,
something where, well, I don't know if it has to be, but I feel like at the very beginning there will be ways for, you know, labeling things
yeah,
as
yeah.
AI versus
But
human.
Right.
that makes me want to ask you a question, Tony.
Yeah,
So here's this thing, and you enjoy it. Let's go with a
yeah,
movie, and you're like, man, this movie is good, and you're feeling it, and yeah,
yeah,
you know, there's some elements of AI in it. It's not a big deal.
right.
But if you knew at the end of the day, after you enjoyed it for so long, that it
Mhm.
was all created by 100% AI, do you automatically minus value in your head, like, it's not that good
Okay, there's something I absolutely love,
now?
and I find out that it was, yeah. I mean, a part of me would, feel a certain type of way about it because, you know, intrinsically, I do assign more value to something made by a person than I do
Yeah,
something made by a machine.
yeah,
Uh, Now, will that? So, for example, if it's a movie I love, like it's the number one movie I love totally, right? If it was one,
mhm,
if a movie, and I find out that was completely AI generated, it will probably not be my top movie anymore. It'll probably still be in my top 10,
mhm,
but it wouldn't be my
right.
movie.
I got you. Hassan, how about you?
Um, Probably. I think the part of the awe factor, like, you know, the that would go away.
Mhm.
Mhm,
Because you're impressed by, you know, that a human being was able to do something like that, or they played it so well, or they just nailed that role. And when you said AI did it, it's just like yeah. So basically, anybody can do this.
Right. That's the thing. Is like, it feels like, okay, if AI did it, then I can have AI do something just as good, just do something else, or I can make it better. Right. There's always that sense that someone can make it better. Yeah. Because there's some nuance that AI will miss. There's something that, I mean, I haven't seen something that hit every note that would resonate with me, but if AI hits that particular thing, it would be hard, I would say, but at the same time, I feel like I would, at some point later on in life, I would grow, as a person, something, some aspect of me would change a little bit, where now it's like I feel there's something else that someone can do that would make it better. Something that I loved 20 years ago is not something I love now. That's where I would go from there.
Yeah, you need to check out I'm Paid to Exist. When we finish, that's the track. I'm Paid to Exist. All right.
All right, I'll check that
out. I was wanting to show you this article. This guy seems to cover some of the pain points. So we're just gonna look at the headings. All right, bear with me a moment. Share my screen here. This is one article. On to the top. A lot of ads on this. Okay. Went to the top yet? So this is the first one. Smart glasses. We talked about it. We know there's already Meta. If you go on TikTok, there's a bunch of glasses with cameras that claims AI is part of it. So I think we already know this. I think in 2026, as it progresses, I think we'll definitely start to see more and more of these coming down to the prescription, even down to the eye. Let me correct your vision, because I wear glasses, right? So perceived value, am I going to think that's interesting? Probably. Because I don't know how to do this.
Look, if you can help me see things sharper than that would definitely be helpful. But and things like that, I like I said, again, that's quality of life, right? And I think as technology improves, quality of life should also be easier to achieve. And so to me, that's a lane that I think belongs to AI. So
great. And Snapchat's coming out with, well, I don't know when they're coming out with it, but they're going to have like AR enhanced glasses. So,
what?
Yeah, so you'll.
So they got the little emoji, big emoji.
They can have emojis. They'll have they have full-on games.
Oh,
glasses. Yeah. It's going to project onto the lens, and so you can see. So you can still see out, but you can, on the lens, you'll see what it looks. Obviously, you'll probably have to figure it out with corrective lenses and stuff like that. But
yeah, like one of the things medically that I really like that I've seen out there is just like people who may have lost limbs, and they will they're using AI and new technology to make those limbs move more natural and things like to me that's hey, I'm all for that, right? And as we get better with this AI, I see that, just again, increasing the quality of life. If I can move like I used to before I lost my limb, then that definitely gives me part of my life back that I didn't that I had lost. And so
here's a weird question. We agree when it comes to AI and AI for health, especially the parts of us that degrades over time, and using AI to help us bring that back. Does brand matter? Brand. So Meta versus Lenovo versus Google.
I don't think they know. I don't think people know AI well enough to establish a brand to it, right? It's not like shoes, right?
No, certainly not. But you know, you love K-Swiss, right? So if K-Swiss comes out with some AI technology, you know, versus Nike, like you're gonna go with Nike or you're gonna go with, it's the same technology.
Right. Honestly, for me, at least I think it's too early to because brands that happens over time, right? Like it's I don't think at this point that really people really care so much about the brand, other more so it's more what the functionality is like and how it actually you know, provides or fulfills my need. I don't think brand really matters right now.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, brand as far as the AI and AI devices or AI enhanced devices are concerned. The first ones what to come out was what, and I guess the other thing is the bigger companies tend to buy those companies anyway. Like the Quest, or it's a Meta Quest now, but it didn't come out as a Meta. Meta bought them, right? So you know now they have their glasses, and you know, so now they have their own glasses, and so brands aren't aren't true brands until it hits a collective consciousness, right? That collective consciousness, like Coca-Cola wasn't really Coca-Cola until, what was it? They ran, I forgot what ad they ran, but I think it was like a Santa ad or something. And that's when they became Coca-Cola that we know.
Right. And I think we haven't gotten to the point where like I'll give you an example. When you cut yourself, right? You clean it, you clean the cutout, and what do you put on it?
Band-Aid. Yeah, Band-Aid. Yeah.
You don't put a Band-Aid on it. You put a bandage. Band-Aid is the name of a company.
Right.
Good one.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so AI hasn't gotten to that point. Just like now, like just think about when we were in I mean, like ChatGPT is really kind of, because they'll say, "Oh, I ChatGPT'd it" and stuff like that. But like now, what does Google mean? Well, when you tell somebody, well, Google, you want you to search it. The thing is, I might not even use Google to go search it, but it's actually taken on, the brand has caused it to basically to take it past the company, and actually it becomes what the company does is now and I don't think AI has gotten to that. When it gets to like that point, just like, you know, asking, "Hey, can I have a Coke?" Well, I don't necessarily want a Coke. I want soda. Right. And so I like when AI gets to that particular point, when it's become the Band-Aid instead of a bandage, I think that's when people really care about, you know, who's developing it. But right now, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I think it's just too new.
I'll argue with y'all for a little bit. I feel that like right now, technically, ChatGPT is a chat bot. So is Gemini, so is Claude. We don't go around saying chat bots. We say ChatGPT.
Right.
Most people say ChatGPT. Well, I'll even argue that some people nowadays are even saying Copilot or Perplexity, in the concept, in the big realm of what a chatbot is, and chatbot holding a brand. I think that's where you're coming from. I love, and I don't know how this happened. I really don't know how this happened, but I somehow love LG stuff. Right? I don't know how. I got the TV. I got you know the machine, but at first I knew LG for peripherals on computers, you know, mics and whatnot. And now that they're making machines, washing machines and the TVs and all sorts of stuff, right? And so in the context of electronics, if LG says, "Hey, I have this thing with AI," and everybody else has it. The brand for ChatGPT is OpenAI. The brand for Gemini is Google, and so on, right? And if all of a sudden there's this LG thing that works with all of the other LG things that I use, that is AI, like I feel like I will naturally gravitate towards it, because I feel like, hey, the electronics has been good, it's been stable, it hasn't caused any issues, and now you're doing this. So the brand is LG, the thing is some AI functionality that works well with every other thing that I have, I'm more than likely would gravitate towards it. As in today's world, that's as far as electronics. As far as today's world, most people brand wise go to open AI. They don't know it's open AI. They just call it ChatGPT, as in the same example with Band-Aid versus bandage, right? So I almost feel like the brand already exists. So if a new AI company comes up today and say that they're making a 3D printing machine versus Google Gemini or Google creating a 3D printing machine, which one would you pick? You know what Google is. You don't know who Clint's brand is.
Right.
Mine might be better,
right.
way better, but
yeah, but
you know,
you're more likely. The thing is I think right now it's so new that that people will give you the benefit of the doubt being the new entrant than they would in other. Oh, absolutely. Because the thing is because with AI, if it works, it works. Right?
I don't know,
like,
maybe my timeline is just different because I'm consuming so much of this. It feels so far along, and you know, when you say it's new, I'm like, but it's not new. It can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe
because I think part of what you're saying though is you're talking about an established brand utilizing the new technology, right? So Google coming out with Gemini is, you know, I know everybody's talking about ChatGPT. That's because that was the original LLM that came out. That was the one that, you know, they had a head start.
Yeah,
they had about a year head start on everybody. And so now that Google's coming out with Gemini, Microsoft
is Copilot,
and
which is pretty much
ironically, I'm surprised I'm surprised they didn't double down on using Cortana.
Yeah, it did.
I'm surprised. Well, yes, you know, now I think about Cortana was not the good AI, so they kind of had to. Yeah, I guess they had to throw it.
Yeah, they got to trash it and start over. Yeah,
Google trashed it. They trashed Bard. Bard sucked, man. That was horrible.
Yeah. So you know, so all these major big companies, they're coming out with their own versions, hoping that, you know, OpenAI is not a company brand that people really know. So they're hoping that their brand that everybody does know can overtake it at some point. So that's what they're betting on.
You're right. Because I was shocked to see Perplexity being a front runner because it came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
And it's big. And
but is it a front runner as far as functionality, or because I don't see any.
No,
I don't see Claude as big as ChatGPT.
Well, hold on. It's about lanes, right? We talked about lanes earlier. In the lane of the big old chat bots, all of them just kind of groups and they're fighting in their own way. ChatGPT is ahead, so we're not gonna talk about them. But like Claude came and says, we are focusing on engineers and developers, and let me support them. So all the tools and the features was really coming from that angle. Does that mean you can't use it for writing and all the stuff you use ChatGPT for? Of course you could, but it's not really built for that. ChatGPT says, oh shoot, here comes Claude. I have to put in, you know, OpenAI code now. I got to compete with that because I got to stay ahead. And then here comes Perplexity. They're like, hey, let me create a browser. And OpenAI is like, hold on, you doing a browser? I'm gonna do a browser too. And then Google's like, well, I already have a browser. Let me fix it in there. And so those are the different lanes, and that's how all of them kind of fall into. But I think across the board, a regular person, non-technical, just trying to get themselves a free chat bot to integrate, they can pull any one of these.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And I think it comes with like you said, we're talking about branding, right? If I'm ChatGPT now, of course, you know, I'm just this, you know, guy who knows a little bit about business and whatnot. But if I'm ChatGPT, I'm leaning into the everyday person, right? Like, because the thing is now you're looking at niching, right? Where Claude said, you know what, we're gonna focus on developers and engineers. Well, me personally, if I'm ChatGPT, because here's the thing, there's more everyday people out there
than there are engineers.
Right. Yeah, and then there are engineers and developers, and so I'm leaning in. Like I'm going to niche, and I'm gonna niche the hell out of it, and I'm gonna say, you know what, I'm falling. I'm looking at the everyday person, kind of like Walmart did, right? Like at this particular point, Walmart's not always the cheaper option, but the thing is, they leaned into it so heavily that that now people think that you can get it cheaper at Walmart than you can get it. And there's been stuff that I find that like it's the same exact thing. It's literally like $67 more at Walmart than it was at Target, which is not your low cost leader. So it's just I think some of these new players and you know, everybody's still trying to figure out the AI space, and I think that what's going to help Perplexity is the fact that they are leaning into their niche, their lane, and focusing in on that.
They kind of stomping on Google's, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
well, I mean, they are, but the thing is, it's the fact that they're because who's going to continue to advance these things? It's going to be the developers and the engineers and things of that sort. So I mean, as it's one of those things that like I look at that when you really hone in on that particular audience. I think that helps to increase the longevity of the actual platform.
Oh, you're referring to Claude then, because Claude is more the engineer. Perplexity is more the browser.
Well, no, but Perplexity, is they're the one who built Claude, right?
No, that's Anthropic.
That's Anthropic, yeah.
That's who?
Perplexity is like its own Anthropic. Yeah, Perplexity is its own. Yeah, Perplexity is its own company. Actually, I'm not sure if they have a parent.
Okay, well then I don't mean Perplexity. I meant Claude. Yeah, I was more speaking to Claude as the chatbot, but like just leaning into niching basically.
Yeah. For me, Perplexity, like I've discovered Perplexity about a year, maybe almost a year and a half ago, and I just found that Perplexity was more accurate and more useful than ChatGPT at the time. And
I've heard that.
So that's when I started using Perplexity. Like I use Perplexity for general use. I don't use it for like. I mean, sometimes you double check things code wise, but for general use, general questions, just general information. And if that was because I think Perplexity was one of the first ones to enable you to search the web, to get information. Now all of them are doing that.
Yeah, I'll argue ChatGPT did it, and then they removed it.
Oh, they did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the beginning, 2023, I remember like, and then they removed it, and then Perplexity brought it back. And it's like, well, I guess we have to do this.
Okay.
So it's about time. So if you guys want to do any closing statements, I think it's going to be good. But one big takeaway on the screen from AI and the devices, even when it comes down to picking the best chatbot for whatever, I think whatever tool you create, it comes down to this. Yeah, that's how they win.
You can argue the human condition boils down to trust and consent.
Right.
That's facts. So Hassan, what you got before we close? In closing, what do you have?
No, I think that that over time, like AI is still like kind of similar to some of the things we said in this one and previous, is that AI is a true partner, right? And a collaborator, and those who use it that way will definitely see a benefit. I can't see really much of anything negative that could come out of being able to use it as a collaborator. And I think that if it's something that's new to you, then I think you ought to look at it as such. How can it help to do what I'm already doing, but do it faster, right? Do it better, be a little bit more accurate, and just to kind of help to improve you and what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Agreed.
That's definitely my takeaway with AI in all aspects, right? Because you have a life. There are pain points that you have in your life. What are those things that are going on that you don't necessarily enjoy doing? Now, can AI help eliminate that pain, right? That's what AI should really boil down to, and your use of it should boil down to. Am I, making these? Am I handwriting these invoices? Am I handwriting all this stuff, the estimates? Am I doing all this stuff and then going back, typing it up? Yeah, well, try AI. Right, like that's that's what I've that's what I've been doing. Like, and that's that's been really helpful. It's eliminate the pain. Use it to eliminate the pain.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that AI
And I like
today
that, eliminate the pain.
eliminate the pain, because that's when you get people to move, right? Once they feel the pain, then they'll move. It
Right.
amazes me, 2026, how many people still are not using AI, and how one thing I am trying to focus more in is not just trying to get a new AI tool, but how can I find the tools that I'm already using, the tools that I'm already acclimated with, and use the features within it. You know what I mean? When you tell people go and use the AI for their productivity and efficiency, they sometimes see it as hard, as this other thing to learn. And I think I want to lean towards pushing people to look at the tools that you're already using, look at the AI features within it, and think about what you're using that for, and see how you can use the AI feature within it to improve what you were using that tool for. We talk about, for me, I use Notion. I use Notion a lot, and Notion has built-in AI. Some people use Grammarly, right? Google Workspace, of course, right? Like it's all there. So that would be my thing for everyone. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. Thanks again. I'll do the thing, and I'll send the thing.